Hi! If you're watching this, then you're likely a musician, producer, art creator, or just curious about writer's block. We've all seen it, we all hate it, but today I'll give you some tips on how to live with it.
That's right. Live with it.
It's a natural thing, it will keep happening, you cannot escape it. So let's go straight into tip number one. First thing is, you do not need to be productive or creative the whole time. It's okay to have some rest, have some time for yourself, whatever. Enjoy life, go outside, play Pokemon Go, make friends, I don't know. So remember, writer's block will go away eventually. It may take a couple of hours, days, or even weeks. I know this may not be what you want to hear if you came here looking for an immediate solution, but we're not done yet. So let's get into the second tip. My second tip is to play around with styles, production techniques, genres, or anything that pushes you out of your comfort zone, or just your traditional music making process. For example, here I've loaded FL Studio, it's just a blank project, nothing on it. And we're gonna use this tool right here, which is the loop starter mode. Just like that, I have song starter idea, I don't know. I mean, this feature has a couple of genres you can pick from and stuff. So yeah, you can definitely use that if you want to. So yeah, you can use the loop starter. I don't know, maybe all the DAWs have similar features. You can just change any of this if you don't like them and get something going real quick. You can also use cloud services for sounds, like, FL Studio has the FL Cloud right here. But you can use services like Skio, Splice, or any other service that comes to mind that sells samples. Another thing you can do, following this path, is just change how you start an idea. I mean, you may usually start like doing a beat or something like that. Well, instead of starting with a beat, why don't you start with an instrument loop or something like that? You can even record like a vocal melody, something that's in your mind, by just humming into the microphone. Or if you don't have a microphone, you can always use your phone and hum into that. Send it to yourself, export it to your DAW, and then you have an idea ready to go. No? Another thing you can do, kind of going back to tip number one and mixing it with tip number two, is to listen to something you wouldn't normally listen to, like on a daily basis, because you usually kind of get your brain used to the patterns and things in the genres you listen to the most. So for example, if you like pop music, you can go and listen to a bit of rap, and that will change your mindset a little bit and give you some fresh, new ideas and things you can take from what you've heard and put it into your music and, kind of stuff like that. Before we move on to the next tip, I want to thank the sponsor.
Me?
If you want to support me or my content or my cats, like the video and take a look at the links in the description to find my music or my Patreon. More on that later. So, my last tip, and the most useful one, or the one that I've been relying on the most on the last couple of years, prepare yourself for the time where the spark is back. At some point you'll feel inspired again and ready to make new music. Sometimes there are technical beats that steal from that creative part, so you gotta be ready. How, you may ask? Well, you can create templates that will ease up your workflow. These templates don't have to be perfect, but are great to give you a starting point, and you can always tune them as you need along the way. You can also have pre-made FX chains that are ready to use on, for example, vocals, drums, or whatever. Again, these serve as an advantage over having to load a lot of plugins every time you make vocals, drums, or whatever. So no need to be super specific or greedy on the FX selection. Just the basics will do, like some EQ, compression, or just some plugins that you use the most in that kind of track. Another great way to change workflow and have ready-to-go sounds is to make your own samples. This is definitely my top trick, since it allows you to practice sound editing and sound design skills. They don't have to be the ultimate quality sounds, but if you make them yourself, you can ensure a certain degree of exclusivity. This is sounds you made yourself, so you only have for yourself and your productions or whatever. And you can even find inspiration by doing this. So let me just show you real quick some examples of how I make sounds. So here I'm using FL Studio. Again, you can use any DAW. I'm starting with the most basic synth you can have. This is 3 times oscillator, so it's just, yeah. Okay, white noise. Let's start with white noise. That's a great way of doing sounds. For example, here you have the envelope controller. So for example, I can change this like so. Let's just make, for example, let's just make a hi-hat. And just like that, I have a really simple, basic hi-hat sound. But again, this is just like a proof of concept. What you can do here is, for example, let me just export it here. Then, for example, I have this as a sample, and I can now manipulate it again into something else. So, for example, let me just normalize it. I'm just gonna add some ring modulation, change the sound up a bit. Can use this knob right here. That sounds different already, like that. And then you have a different hi-hat sound that it's yours, you made. You can even post-process it here if you send it to the mixer. I don't know, let's throw some ODT. Let me loop it so we can hear it. And just like that, you have a different sound. You can just keep saving the sounds, you know, to your collection. Like, for example, I have here a bunch of sounds that I've made over the past almost 10 years that I've been making music. So yeah. For example, let me just do like another quick thing that you can always do. Let's make presets for your sounds. So you can just open any synth. Here I have Vital, which is a free plugin. That's another kind of bonus tip I'm gonna give right here, is to get some different plugins. You know, there's a lot of free plugins out there. I just downloaded the Melda ones. They're the kilohertz ones. There's a really good as well. Let's make a little quick preset here. Just, I don't know. Where's the best sound design tool? Here it is. You can even, again, just go here and, you know, resample this thing. And here you can do a couple of things. You can, you know, toss it back into the playlist and maybe do something with it. Like, I don't know, here I'm just gonna cut it and do something like this. And now I have kind of this bass shot I can play around with. Let me do something like this. You can even take another synth, like in this case, Serum, and you know, use the spectral thing to make a whole new sound with it. Kind of a digital sounding bass distorted with some spectral artifacts. I don't know, just like a random idea. But I think you get the point by now. For example, let me just show you some of the samples I made here. I got some ambience. I made some bass. Got a bunch of drums here as well. Some glitches. But yeah, I think that's enough of that. You already get what I'm saying here. So another thing, like it's a little bonus tip I can give you, is it's cool to make all of these sounds, all of these templates and stuff. But if you're already making music, then one of the most important things you can do is be organized with your releases, with your sounds and everything. So next time you're in writer's block, you can also take some of that time to, you know, just go through your sample library, pick up some of your favorites. Like, for example, let me show you real quick. FL Studio has here this favorite sounds tab. You can put your sound so you can easily, you know, just drag and drop back into your song. Again, this works on whichever DAW you're using, or you can have your own kind of folder in your System Explorer from Windows or Mac or whatever you're using. So yeah, you can also take some time to, I don't know, get the legal stuff in, you know, some stuff from your brand or whatever as an artist. And yeah. Okay, so I think that's about it. That's all I have for you today. If you want to learn more or get some of the sounds I made over the years, you can go down to my Patreon. There's a lot of free stuff down there. Some tutorials, some patcher presets, sample packs, free sample packs, paid sample packs, vocal sample packs. I don't know. Just go check it out. You're likely gonna find something that you like, either if it's free or if it's not, whatever. Just go check it out,
Please.
Mostly for FL Studio, of course, because I work in FL Studio, but samples you can drag and drop into any DAW. So yeah, and you know, this kind of advices and tips I give, they're universal as well. Yeah. In my Patreon, I also have a subscription that allows you to get most of the stuff in the store, plus some other exclusive things like for members. I don't know. Yeah. So if you want to support my music, or you're simply looking for new tools, new sounds, go check it out. As a little side note, I'm also on a quest to get a house like this guy. But, unlike him, I already have not one, but 2 cats. Here's one of them. The other one is sleeping somewhere. Say hi. Anyways, this is not a race, just a little quest. So if you want to support me, I would really appreciate it. So yeah, until next time. Goodbye.